It's Friday, March 8th, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. We begin with news that the president of the National Union of Public Workers, Akani McDowell, says he isn't aware of any lawsuit against him by the union's General Secretary, Roslyn Smith. Smith has accused McDowell of making extremely serious, sensational, and irrefutable false statements against her, and she has also threatened legal action against two media entities. McDowell confirmed receiving a letter from Smith's lawyer, which he says his attorney responded to.
I am not aware of any lawsuits against me. I did receive a letter from Ms. Smith's lawyer, and my lawyers have responded substantively to the allegations. And the claims relate to a memo which was issued in the course of my duties as president and chairman of National Council. However, I find it quite interesting that this letter will come weeks before a union election relating to a matter since 2018. I believe, Stetson, that the union has more significant issues to address, and I would like to focus on those issues. Right now, I am focusing on ensuring that the rights of workers are protected.
3 years too late. That's the reaction of the operator of the Jolly Roger Party cruises after his business was flagged in a recent U.S. travel advisory as one of two party cruises that Americans should avoid visiting at night. Managing Director Jeffrey Bino says a lot has been done to clamp down on bad behavior by partygoers, including working directly with law enforcement.
It has come at a time when exactly what John Morris said. A lot of effort has been gone into cleaning up the whole cruise boat scene. So it is, in other words, it's past its best by date. Then if it had come out 2 years ago, it would have been much more pertinent than it is now.
Okay.
But right now, it's not really. It was a little surprising, but then again, it wasn't surprising because, as I tell you, it's not the first name they're gonna call is Jolly Roger.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So it's yes and no. So I wouldn't want to really go down that line or I would express surprise or anything like that. Not really.
From sexual harassment to insufficient females in certain professions and industries, women have been speaking about some of the challenges they face. It comes as Barbados celebrates International Women's Day. Criminologist and author Kim Ramsey, who faced her share of sexual harassment, tells Barbados Today she merely saw this as a challenge.
There were one or two persons that I went to interview, that the usual stuff that men would throw on you, but I didn't have a lot of it. I'm trained in how to do research, so I just developed a rapport with the persons that I interviewed and was so, cognizant of my surroundings. But I found it a challenge, and I like challenges. And it went actually better than I thought. I mean, people told me it was crazy to go, because I went down in like Suriname and St. Joseph. And I went in one of Paul's family's houses, and I talked with him alone. But you see, I'm not really a fearful person of especially offenders, because they're human like me.
Meantime, the disproportionate number of males in the entertainment industry compared to females is concerning Director of the Barbados Cultural Development Industries Authority, Andrea King.
There is still a disproportionate amount of females actively participating in culture. And I will take music as an example. The number of performers, the number of producers, the number of managers or administrators. Males remain higher than females, and a lot of international programming is geared toward making that ratio equal, and that has started to happen in Barbados because a lot of funding requirements require that you privilege women over men, only because more men than women have been participating in the activity.
Family, friends and others yesterday gathered to pay their final respects to well-known agronomist Dr. Frances Chandler. The service was held at the St. Dominic's Roman Catholic Church. Delivering the eulogy, Sir Henry Fraser said her advocacy for food production and food security would have easily earned her one of Barbados's top honors.
But just as she gave her all to agriculture, to research and development, to her public life, to her role in the Senate and in her columns, she gave her all, lovingly and generously, to those in need and to her family.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Over now to Guyana, where President David Granger is due to meet the chairman and commissioners of the Guyana Elections Commission. The opposition is insisting on an early date for general elections, though the Election Commission says it won't be ready. The opposition yesterday said it plans to write CARICOM and the OAS about the deteriorating political situation in the country. Following a meeting with the opposition leader, the president said the aim is to ensure that credible elections are held.
Only GCOM, an independent agency, which could determine when elections will be held. The president or the executive or any other body cannot intervene, cannot intrude, cannot interfere with the work of GCOM. So we have to allow GCOM to do its work. In that regard, the leader of the opposition was insistent that a date be set, a mission, to determine what the needs are in terms of time and money. So the door is open. The leader of the opposition has agreed to meet again. The people of Guyana could be assured that we are working to ensure that elections are held, credible elections are held in as short a time as possible.
And finally, President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman Paul Manafort was yesterday sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for financial crimes. This is far less than federal guidelines and what prosecutors were seeking. We get more from NBC News.
It was clear before Manafort's trial when Judge Ellis basically said as much in comments in pretrial hearings that the only reason he thought Paul Manafort was even in his courtroom was because he went to work for Donald Trump, and he said to the prosecution, to Mueller's team, you don't really care about Mr. Manafort's bank fraud and tax fraud, you only care about whether you can squeeze him to get the president. Nonetheless, this result, a 4-year sentence, is a shocker because it is so much lower than the guidelines of 19.5 to 24 years. I mean, there were predictions of potentially 12 years, 8 years. I didn't hear a single prediction of 4 years in this case because, not only was Paul Manafort convicted of 8 felonies here in this courthouse behind me, Chris, but then he went on to commit other crimes after he was convicted. He reached a plea deal with the special counsel and then lied and broke the plea deal. And essentially what Judge T.S. Ellis has said is that conduct doesn't amount to much for him. He's going to treat Manafort like any other white-collar offender and give him what many people will perceive as a relatively light sentence.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM at Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.